would like to show you guys a trick using this online photo editing website called Photopea. It's very similar to Adobe Photoshop. The only difference is that it's web-based and it's free, so you all have access to it. So as you know, I would like us to find something that is organic or something found in nature for this project. So I'm just Googling a couple of things that I'm thinking about. You guys can come up with your own list. So I just came up with a strawberry, and I settled on this photo that I have selected right here because I like how close it is. I like how zoomed in it is. It's not far away, and there's a good amount of things going on. Even this photo here, you could do something like this where it's really filling up the entire page. I just think something like this might be repetitive, so that's why I like this one, because it has the nice soft background for just a little bit of difference going on in your composition. Another example for you to see, just so you have an idea of variety, was I found this frog. So not only is he adorable, but he's on this really nice looking leaf with a simple background, and something like this might also make a nice composition. If you see something that is like this, where the frog is relatively small in the photo, I'm going to expect cropping and zooming. I want these items to take up the entire page. You'll know you're doing it right if your item goes off the edge of the page. Something like this is cool. All right, I'm going to go back to this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy my image. All right, so when I open this up, you'll see an example that I already did. So you can see I already edited this so that part of the image was a different color than the rest. It might be hard to see, but it's kind of a triangular shape going at a diagonal, following my mouse. But I'm going to make a new file. Alright, so remember, we're working on 9 by 12, so actually I probably should have transformed my canvas size to something that is equivalent to our space so that we don't have to worry about the proportions. So this will be as if I'm holding it horizontally, and I just need to go over to Edit, Paste to get my copied image into this canvas. And for now, just make sure your selector tool is chosen up at that top left-hand corner. Just to satisfy the cropping and enlarging and making sure that our compositions are strong, I'm going to go up here to the transform controls so I can resize my item. Now make sure you are selecting shift before you start to resize, or else your image will warp, and we do not want that. And this will keep everything proportionate. And this size is a little better, although I still can go larger. So again, think cropping. You don't want to lose too much of your item, but a little bit is fine just to make sure that it takes up a good amount of the page. Now is the size that I want. I can check this, uncheck this, because I find that a little annoying. So now this is my composition. So when I paint this, this is how big he's going to look compared to my whole paper. Now this is where it will get tricky. So down here in the bottom corner, if you hover over this, you will see that it says Quick Mask Mode, and you want to click on this. And then once you have this highlighted, you will actually go over, I have to move this because my screen recording thing is in the way, to Paintbrush. What we're going to be doing is drawing the actual shape that we want to have be a different color in our painting. So start out with your brush a little bit on the smaller side. I'd say probably about 10 would be sufficient so that you can see the lines you're making. So you guys can decide how you want to divide your paper up. I'll leave that up to you. So right now, all we're going to do is draw the shapes that will be our dividing sections. The only thing I do ask is that you keep your sections somewhat equivalent in size so that each color that you choose gets about its fair share of the painting space. Now, if you want to do something simple like just splitting it straight down the middle, I will reluctantly let you guys do that, but here's what you can do if you want to do something that's a little bit more organic or different. So what I'm doing now is just creating sections. So this is my first section, so what I want to do is actually fill that in with my mask tool. So I'm just going to make my brush a little bit bigger so that that goes quicker. I'm going to go back to my 10 size brush, and I'm just going to create a couple of more sections. And remember to just fill whatever sections you make with this mask tool. It looks red now, but it will not stay that way. All right, now that we have that done, I'm just going to go back to my select tools to make sure I don't paint anymore. Now we go back to this mask feature and we click on it. Now, everything that we filled in, or I'm sorry, I should say the things that we did not fill in are selected. So it really doesn't matter. If you want to invert your selection, you would just go over here and hit inverse. So now what we created is selected. So now what I can do is go over to Image, Adjustments, and I want to change the hue. So the hue is the color. So now whatever I have selected, once I start to play with this bar, those selected items will change color. So a frog that was once green is now purple. And if I go in the opposite direction, then I get some different colors. And you can play with this until you're happy with the color you've gotten. Unfortunately, this way I don't think there is a way to choose the color you want, like on a color wheel. You just have to keep scrolling until you get what you like. One other thing you can do is if you want a section to be completely black and gray, that would be the saturation. So you would just have to put that all the way down and then you don't have any color. Now let's say you're happy with the color of the current selection and now you want to change the other part of the photo. All you would need to do is again go back to select and inverse, and now you have selected the other portion of the photo. Go back to your adjustments, down to hue, and you can change the rest of it as well. You do not need to, you can leave it original, but this is if you want to completely alter the colors of your photo. Now, unfortunately, you cannot pick and choose portions of your selected area. Say you wanted this leaf to be green, but you wanted the background to be purple. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen, but you can just do that in your painting. It doesn't need to be reflective of what you're doing here. The only other option would be to do the mask tool again to the background and physically change it, doing it that way. So one thing you need to do, which I do not do, is you need to hit OK. If you hit X like I did, you will lose your changes. So once you're happy with the colors you've gotten, you can just go back up to the Select tool, hit Deselect, and you now have your reference image.